All right, BarNaturalPrez, talk to the people, man. Let them know what's getting ready to go down.
What's going on, YouTube? You're back with the Prez out here in Juniper Park today. You already know, guys. Me and Good Money bringing you another video. So today I'm going to be talking to you about diet and training, how you guys should be eating to fuel your workouts as well as recover from your workouts. So basically pre and post workout nutrition. So let me just start off by saying this, guys. There's more than one way and more than one style of training when it comes to energy pathways and systems that your body use as far as the workout that you guys are going into, right? So we have what's known as more central nervous system and neurological training. We have more hypertrophy style training, and we have more metabolic and endurance type training, right? So three main functionalities that are primarily going to focus on all different training modalities and all types of training modalities that you guys could be getting into. So let's cover the first one, which is more central nervous system and neurological adaptations, training that consists of that type of movement patterns and that type of energy systems, right? So when I say more central nervous system activity and neurological training, I mean more strength focused training. Workouts or exercises that are typically lower volume, much higher intensity. Remember, typically strength training parameters would be anything consisting of 1 to 5 rep maxes. Remember, when you're working with lower volume, meaning 1 to 5 rep loads, the intensity, remember, intensity always refers to load that you're lifting. So if you're just doing calisthenics, your body weight is your intensity. How you manipulate your body weight's intensity is up to you, and that becomes more advanced movements and things like that. That's for another video. So remember, when training strength, that's more central nervous system and neurological adaptations. Remember, you could see, you guys go watch the Olympics, weightlifting. You could see weightlifters that are competing in the Olympics that are 150 pounds and skinny, but they're doing Olympic moves with 300, 400 pounds of extra load, right? Because remember, strength is more nervous system and neurological adaptations as opposed to muscular-based adaptations, right? That's why you'll see stronger guys with very small physiques able to move a lot of weight because they became very efficient at that load, and their nervous system and their body is very neurologically adapted to the movement patterns that it works on, right? So think about calisthenic exercises such as static holds like planches, front levers, handstand holds for time. All those are not even so much handstands, because handstands are more of an easier exercise. You're not at a disadvantage for leverage. But think about planches, front levers, those really tough calisthenic skills that you don't see people doing for a long time, right? Maybe you see a max hold 15, 20 seconds tops. You rarely see anybody doing holds longer than that. And typically, most of the time, you see people doing around 5 to 10 second max time holds in those movements, right? Because remember, the overall volume for each given set is low. Think about somebody doing a one rep max deadlift or a heavy squat for 1 to 5 reps. The time under tension is not very great. So there's different ways that you guys should be eating and fueling for each type of exercise modality. So when it comes to strength, remember, strength focuses more neurological and central nervous system adaptations. You're not really breaking down much glycogen. You're not really demanding much from the muscular skeletal system as you are so much from the nervous system and neurologically from your brain, right? Because you're learning movement patterns and getting more efficient at given loads. So hold on, guys, it's getting a little cold out here. Let me throw my clothes back on. So when it comes, so if you're going into a workout and your main focus of that workout is strength training, right? So you're going and we're doing calisthenics, right? And we want to work heavy weighted pulls today. So let's just say you're working with a 100-pound added load, right? So you have 100 pounds extra weight to add to your body weight, right? And let's say you're going for pull-ups and you're going 5 sets of max reps. And each set, you're not catching more than 1 to 5 reps, right? That means primarily you were training strength-focused pull work that day, and you're not going to be breaking down much muscle glycogen. Remember, there's different types of energy pathways and different ways your body utilizes the muscular skeletal system and the nutrients that it uptakes. So when you're doing more strength-based exercises, more skill-based neurological movements like static holds, front levers, planches, the best thing that you guys could do for your body is you don't have to worry about carbing up or preloading the workout with having a bunch of carbs, because you're not going to need that type of energy to fuel that workout. So me personally, when I'm doing more strength-based exercises, strength-based workout routines, my diet consists of a higher, remember, calories are calories, right? your goal should be, if you guys have a goal, whether to bulk or cut or maintain, you guys should know a baseline of where your maintenance calories are, right? So that's the one thing you guys should always know about is maintenance. Everything comes from there. If you guys are just trying to maintain, you want to eat at maintenance. If you guys are trying to bulk, you want to eat in a slight calorie surplus. I recommend no more than 300 calories a day surplus. If you guys want to cut, you guys want to be in about a 250 calorie to, again, I don't go too much further than that, maybe 250 to 350 calorie deficit a day. But again, we're talking apples and oranges compared to this video. That's just a little insight for you guys. So remember, calories are always looked at as a whole picture, right? You got to hit, so if you have to eat 3,000 calories, in theory, you could eat 2,900 calories from carbohydrates and 100 calories from protein and have no fat for the day. Is that the best thing to do? No. Is that healthy? No. That's not going to do any benefit for yourself, right? But remember, you guys got to look at calories as a whole, 100% part of the pie. So remember, when strength-focused workouts now, me personally, and what is proven, you do not need a greater demand for carbohydrates. So those are the type of days when I will focus on more fat in my diet. I keep the protein always stays moderate throughout the diet, right? No matter what the training is, I always recommend to get a minimum of 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. That's gonna ensure you guys are eating enough protein to not only recover from the workouts that you're doing, but also remember, protein is the most satiating macronutrient. It's going to keep you fuller for longer, right? So on strength-based exercises, pre-workout meal, ideally, you guys always want to have a balance of protein, carbs and fats, right? There's no need to ever exclude a macronutrient. There's no need to go to extremes where you say, oh, I'm on a no-carb diet or things like that, right? It's not necessary, and you're just limiting your own options, and you're always gonna, and it's gonna become boring and harder to do over time, right? Because me personally, look guys, I like to stick to a set eating routine. Maybe I eat the same foods for 6 to 8 weeks at a time, and then I switch it up. Why? So I have a little variety in my diet, but it always stays within the calories that I fall in, right? So if I'm eating 3,000 calories of this amount, this type of food, for this 6 weeks, the next 6 weeks, I'm still gonna eat the 3,000 calories. I'm just gonna switch the foods up so I have variety in my diet. So when it comes to strength training, higher fats, that's when you guys are gonna see me eating more eggs pre-workout. Instead of having 2 to 3 eggs pre-workout, I might have 5 eggs pre-workout. Instead of having cream of rice, which I would have on a different type of training day, a carb source pre-workout, I might have more tuna fish or peanut butter or almond butter and like a smoothie type, right? Remember, always comes down to overall calories. So let's just say, for instance, on a strength training day, overall total calories, I would do a breakdown of about 40% total fats for the day. Very easy if you guys, this make it very easy if you guys understand. Let's just say I'm doing 40% total fats for the day, 30% protein, 30% carbohydrates, right? So we got 40% of our total calories coming from fat, 30% of our total calories coming from protein, 30% come from carbohydrates, right? Higher fats on strength building type workouts. Now we're gonna go to the next training modality. Let's say your goal is hypertrophy and you're working, most of your workouts now are landing in that 6 to 12 rep range. Remember, hypertrophy refers to time under tension. Hypertrophy means muscle building. So people will tell you, most people say, oh, you want to build muscle, what's the best rep range to work in? They'll say, oh, you want to work in that 6 to 12 rep range. The reason why 6 to 12 rep range is the given answer is because that's typically the amount of reps it takes to fall in the proper time under tension. Remember, if you're doing strength training, 1 to 5 reps, the sets are going very fast, right? Let's just say you're hitting a set of 5 reps. 5 reps and you're doing 3 seconds, each rep is taking 3 seconds. That means you're only gonna be doing a total work time of 15 seconds per set, right? Now let's say you're only doing 1 rep maxes, 1 rep heavy deadlift. How long is that set taking? 3 seconds, maybe 5 seconds if you do a pause on top. So remember guys, strength training, the time under tension is very, very low compared to now hypertrophy. Hypertrophy, you say you're hitting sets of 6 to 12, and that's just the general standard, because hypertrophy building could go all the way up to about that 20, 25 rep mark, all depending on the intensity of the exercise that you're doing and how advanced you are at that movement. Remember, hypertrophy training tends to be anaerobic. Anaerobic means no oxygen to the muscles. Aerobic means you're getting oxygen to the muscles. Remember, think of aerobic training, people going for jogs, walking the treadmill, that's doing aerobics, right? Because you can get oxygen to the muscles, you could carry on a conversation while performing the exercises. Anaerobic work now, there's no oxygen to the muscles. That's when you're gonna feel that lactic acid buildup. That's where you're gonna really feel the burn in the muscles, because no oxygen is coming into the muscles and you're getting that lactic acid buildup due to the fact that you're not getting any oxygen in. So hypertrophy style training typically means reps falling in that 6 to up to 20, 25 rep range, again, depending on the movement that you're doing. But what really counts is the time under tension. You guys don't even have to really count reps. If you want to focus on hypertrophy, go on the bar and let's say, all right, I'm gonna do a pull-up set that's gonna last me 45 seconds. Don't count reps, count time. Count 45 seconds of repping. That's gonna ensure that you're getting a sufficient amount of time under tension. That's gonna be causing more muscular damage now as opposed to central nervous system activation. So now when you're working exercises falling in that 6 to 15, 6 to 20 rep range. So let's say, for instance, we're doing weighted pulls and I have a 60-pound kettlebell strapped on. I'm doing sets. Let's just say I go one set, I catch 10 reps. I rest 2 minutes, catch another 10 reps. Rest 2 minutes, catch another 10 reps. That's all considered hypertrophy training. All the sets are falling in that 6 to 15, 6 to 20 rep range, and the time under tension is 30 seconds or greater for each set. Remember, if I'm doing 10 reps with 60 pounds, it's gonna take a good 3 seconds for the whole rep. From hang, chin over the bar, to lockout, it's probably gonna take 3 seconds a rep. Times that by 10 reps, you're hitting 30 seconds worth of work each clip. You increase the reps a little more, 11, 12, you're gonna be close to that 36, 40 second time under tension for each set. So the way you fuel for that workout now is going to be different than when you would fuel for a strength building workout now, because you're going to be focusing more on that central, not so much on the central nervous system. You're going to be focusing more on the muscular skeletal system now, really taxing the muscles. Best way to recover and fuel for that, again guys, you always want to keep that protein moderate with 1 gram minimum. Now, on days like this, I might bump the protein up slightly, because remember, you're going to be doing more muscle damage, more muscle breakdown. You're going to be working with higher intensities than you would be doing body weight, but not as high intensity as you'll be doing strength. Remember, intensity refers to load. So if I'm doing weighted pull-ups, which let's just say again, I'm doing 100-pound weighted pull-ups, and I'm only catching 1 rep, that means the intensity of that movement with the 100 pounds strapped on is pretty much 95% intensity. 1 rep max would be pretty much 95 to 100% intensity. But now let's say I have 70 pounds strapped on and I'm catching sets of 8 to 10. That means that intensity is not at 95 anymore. It's now around that 70, maybe 80% mark, right? So the intensity is lower, still there, you still have high intensity, but the rep ranges are higher than strength. So now again, you're taxing more muscular system as opposed to nervous system, and you have to fuel and recover differently. Now pre-workout, this is when you want to have slightly lower fats, more carbohydrates than you would on a strength building exercise, because again, what's the primary storage form of energy in the muscle? Glycogen. Where does glycogen come from? Carbohydrates, aka glucose. When you eat carbs, glucose gets broken down, the carbs get broken down to glucose in the bloodstream, and if they have a reason to be stored in the muscle, they'll be stored in the muscle as glycogen. If they do not have a reason to be stored, they will go stored to the liver, as they'll be stored in the liver, or excess will be circulated in the bloodstream, which is what you don't want. So pre-workout, when you guys are going into a workout, when you're going to be doing sets of 6 to 12 reps with break periods in between. I'm not talking about supersetting or going 30-second breaks. I'm talking about taking a sufficient 2-minute, 90-second to 2-minute breaks in between each set. You guys want to have a moderate carb intake pre-workout as well now as post-workout. So as opposed to having 40% fat on strength days, now I would have about 40% protein, 40% carbohydrate. I'd have 40% carbohydrates, 30% protein, 30% fat. So you guys can see the carbs and the fats are going to shift. You're going to have higher fats when you're training strength, then the fats are going to drop, and you're going to increase those carbs to 40% of your total calories when you're now training more hypertrophy. So remember guys, you always got to look at the whole picture. 40, 30, 30 equals 100% no matter how you look at it. So you could have 40% of calories coming from fat, or 40% of your calories coming from carbohydrates. So now when you're focusing more on hypertrophy style training, when you're going in, let's say you're going in on a back workout and you're gonna go 3 exercises for the day. Each exercise you're gonna do 3 to 4 sets of 6 to 12 reps. So you're gonna start with weighted pull-ups. You're gonna do 4 sets of 6 to 12 reps with 2-minute break. Then you're gonna go to weighted rows. You're gonna go 4 sets, 10 to 15 reps, 2-minute break. Then for your last exercise, let's say you go to chin-ups. And again, you go 3 sets, 8 to 12 reps of chin-ups, a 2-minute break. The perfect way to fuel for that workout, you wanna have Protein and carbohydrates pre-workout, moderate. You want to have slightly lower fats. Still keep the fats in the diet because they will slow down the release of the carbohydrates in the bloodstream. And then post-workout, again, you want to have protein and carbs and keep the fats minimal. Remember, 40% of calories should be coming from carbohydrates, 30% from protein, 30% from fat. And now remember, guys, there's still one other way to train, which is now considered more endurance / metabolic training. That's when you'll hear me talk about, or you'll hear other people talking about, oh, I got the sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, aka the pump. Remember, pumping style workouts, they're known to pump a lot of blood and a lot of fluid to the muscles, giving you that rounded, really pumped up, swollen look, right? So think of workout routines that are done lower intensity, high, and very short break periods. Now remember, lower intensity referring to load. Let me give you a few examples of metabolic / endurance type calisthenic routines. Think of a 5-minute drill when you're doing 50 pulls, 100 push-ups, and you're trying to get 150 reps done in 5 minutes or less, right? You're really not taking any breaks. Think about doing, if you guys watched the last video me and Good Money posted, when I was training for the bar band requirements, when I was doing the 2 rounds of 3 muscle-ups, 30 dips, 20 pulls, 30 push, 3 muscle-ups, times 2 in under 10 minutes or less. Remember, that's 175 reps condensed into a short period of time. You're not giving your body sufficient rest periods, but remember, the load that you're working with, intensity, is just your body weight. So remember, the more advanced you are with calisthenics, the less intensity that your body weight is gonna give it, right? So the way you manipulate your body weight to make the routines harder now is to do routines such as the 5-minute drills, the barbarian requirements, where you're taking very short break periods and keeping the volume very high. Remember, strength training, volume is low. Even if we're hitting 10 sets, let's say we're hitting 10 sets of 1 on 1 rep max, we're only hitting 10 total sets, 10 total reps in 10 sets. Now let's say we're doing 5-minute drill. We're hitting 150 total reps in 5 minutes. Whereas if you're doing a strength training workout, 1 to 2 sets may only take 5 minutes. Now we're doing a whole workout in 5 minutes. Think about the demands on the body, right? Your body weight being the intensity that you're working with is relatively low, because remember, guys, you guys are at that level where you could do 20, 30 rep clips of pull-ups, right? That's why you should be able to try these routines out. 5-minute drills, barbarian style requirements, right? Metabolic training, endurance training. These type of routines are gonna require a different type of fueling than strength training and hypertrophy workout. Remember, this is gonna be very taxing on the glycolytic system, aka glycolysis, also known as very carb demanding, very glycogen demanding. Now guys, imagine if you guys could do hypertrophy work and you're doing sets of 8 to 12 with 2-minute break. Now let's say we're doing weighted pull-ups for hypertrophy style training, right? And we have, let's just say we're doing 50-pound weighted pull-ups and we're able to hit 5 sets of 10 reps strict with 2-minute breaks. Now let's take that same 50-pound pull-up kettlebell and let's try, so if you can hit 5 sets of 10 with 2-minute break clean with the 50-pound kettlebell, let's try to hit 50 pull-ups as fast as possible now with that 50-pound kettlebell. Are you gonna be able to hit 5 sets of 10 with 30-second break in between? Absolutely not. Why? Because now that 50-pound load that you have required a longer break period for you to be able to pump out those reps. And if you were to try to hit the 50 reps faster with that 50-pound load with less breaks, it's gonna be a lot more taxing on the body. It's gonna break down a lot more glycogen, a lot more carbohydrates are gonna be needed. So when doing routines like the 5-minute drills, the barbarian requirements, or if you're doing pyramid style training, or around the world where you're doing, let's just say we're doing 10 down, 10 pulls, 10 push, 10 dips, 10 squats, 9, 9, 9, 9, 8, 8, 8, 8, 7, 7, 7, 7. Remember, pyramid style routines, the goal is to complete them all unbroken always and as fast as possible. So think about, guys, more time under tension, less break periods. It's gonna be a lot more taxing, metabolically taxing, more endurance-based work that is gonna require a lot higher carbohydrate intake, because now we're really stressing the glycolytic system, really stressing our bodies and breaking down glycogen to push us through that amount of repetitions in the given time. So the best way to eat when you're going in, say you have a 5-minute drill pre-work and you're going into a 5-minute drill, or you're going into a one-on-one calisthenic battle where you know you're gonna be hitting a lot of reps, that's when you wanna have, remember guys, everything is 100%. That's when you really wanna up the carbohydrate intake. So me personally, what I would focus on then, you really drop the fats on days like that. You really wanna increase the carbohydrates. And again, protein always stays moderate, 1 gram per pound of body weight. So on a day like today, for instance, before we filmed this video, me and George, we filmed the barbarian style requirements when I was hitting 175 reps and I was trying to do it in 10 minutes or less, everything unbroken. Way I ate, I had a huge amount of cream of rice with a little bit of granola in there, blueberries, and some whey protein. So it was a very high carbohydrate rich meal. So on a day like today, my total calories for the day is gonna come 50% carbohydrates, 30% protein, 20% fat. Remember, 50, 30, 20 still equals 100. So when you're going in and your routine and your goal is for that focus of that workout session, is your goal is I want to hit an endurance style training, you want to hit it around the world, you want to hit pyramid sets, or you want to try 5-minute drills. Those are the type of routines where you really want to carb up pre-workout, and then because you're going to be burning through those carbohydrates relatively fast doing the routine, that's when you want to sufficiently recover post-workout as well. That's when I'll keep the fats pretty much to a minimum post-workout, and I'm focusing more on carbohydrates and again moderate protein. So remember guys, we have 3 different primary styles of training that are going to fall on pretty much every routine that you guys are going to work into, right? If your focus is strength, that's when you want to keep it more slightly higher fats, moderate protein, moderate carbs. So remember, 40% fats on those days, 30% carbohydrates, 30% protein for a perfect split, 40, 30, 30, almost. And if you guys could even focus even to have it so much as 33% all around, right? You don't, like I said, the focus on strength days, you do not have to have as many carbohydrates in the diet. That's the main thing. So if you guys don't want to do 40, 30, 30, you got to keep it more balanced and think about having just an equal amount of every macronutrient. So 33% carbs, 33% fat, 33% protein. Because remember, you're training more of the nervous system, more neurological adaptations. As long as you're hitting the required calories that your body needs for that day or whatever your goal is, you're going to push through that workout and you're going to be able to recover through that workout just fine, because it's not going to cause much muscle damage. It's not going to cause much glycogen breakdown throughout the body. Now, again, we're going into a hypertrophy focused workout where the volume is higher, the time under tension is longer, the break periods are relatively shorter compared to strength training. That's where you want to have slightly higher carbohydrates. Now it's going to shift from that 40% fat mark. Now you want to have 40% carbohydrates. Still going to be in that 40, 30, 30 ratio, but now it's going to be 40% carbohydrates, 30% fat, 30% protein. And on days like this, I wouldn't so much have it 33, 33, 33. I would focus on the higher carbohydrate intake to help you fuel through those sets of the hypertrophy-based sets of repetitions, right? And then we have the more metabolic and endurance style training where it's way higher volume, way lower intensity, but a lot longer time under tension and a lot less break periods. Think about condensing a lot of reps into a short amount of time, right? Think again, like I said, barbarian requirements, 5-minute drills. Those are the type of workouts where you really want to shift the carbohydrates to be the majority of the calories in the diet. Like I said, 50, 30% protein, 20% fat. And if you guys learn to do this, right, and you guys learn to manipulate the calories and the macronutrients you take on each given workout, your body's going to become very efficient at utilizing the calories on the given days, right? So when you have a higher fat intake day, your body's going to know, okay, I could run off fat this day. You're going to be more of in a fat burning zone. When you're eating the higher carbohydrates on the metabolic days and the endurance days, your body's going to become very efficient at utilizing those carbs. It's going to say, oh, it's giving me carbs for a reason. I'm going to use it for fuel today. It's not going to know. It's not going to want to store them as fat or excess energy, right? Because it knows that your body's going to utilizing them. When you keep it more on that 40, 30, 30 carb, protein, fat, on the hypertrophy days, again, your body's going to learn, okay, I don't need that many carbohydrates today, but it's giving me enough to fuel through this workout and get me through all the given reps and sets. So I hope this gave you guys a little insight of how you guys should be eating depending on the workout that you guys are going into. And that's the one thing, guys, you guys should always have a plan. Don't go into your workout blind. If you have a plan to train strength, go in there and focus on getting stronger. Spend the time needed. Remember, strength training is going to require longer breaks. The sets are going to be lower volume, but I've explained this numerous times. In order to make those adaptations, you've got to hit a good amount of sets. You can't go into a strength training session and try to learn a front lever and say, oh, I'm going to do 3 sets of 1 to 2 second holds and think your body's going to learn the movement. If you're only doing such slow volume per set, right? You learn the front lever, you're only getting 1 to 2 second holds. You want to keep the total sets still high. You still want to go for that 6 to 10 total set mark. Remember, the volume each set is low. You're only holding for a few seconds. You're going to have to recover a long time in order to produce that effort each set. Because remember, your body weight, that intensity, and those leverages are going to be very hard and very demanding. So, guys, remember, go in there with a purpose. Go into your workouts with a purpose. That's how you guys are going to ensure that you make progress. That's how you're going to progressively overload each time. Because if every time you go into a workout and you're trying to do something new and new and new and new, you're never going to be able to consistently work on something and build on it. And that's the key, guys. If you guys want to make progress, you got to do the same things over and over, and so you can see the progress yourselves. So like I said, I hope this gave you guys a little insight of how you guys should be fueling for your workouts. And you guys got any questions, you guys can leave them in the comment section. I always get back to you. Don't forget, guys, subscribe to That's Good Money channel. Subscribe to my channel, BarNaturals. G will put the link in the description. And like always, guys, I appreciate you guys. Peace out.
All right, thanks a lot.
BarNaturals.
All right, thanks a lot, Prez.